Greetings, everyone. In this module, we are studying Mesopotamia, which is the land between two rivers. This name was bestowed on this area by the ancient Greeks. It is not the name that people who lived there called themselves. So, a critical aspect of understanding Mesopotamia is the land creates the people. So, as we learned in our last module on early Neolithic cultures, they tended to arise in great river valleys. Well, great river valleys are created by runoff from great mountains that have a lot of snow and that melts slowly all year long. So in Mesopotamia, these mountains are known as the Taurus and Zagros mountain ranges. And as the snow melts, it comes down the mountain and creates the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. We have the same process that goes on here in California with the Sierra Nevada range and the snowmelt running off into the Central Valley, and that's what created that huge river valley there. So a lot of these early civilizations, Mesopotamia included, arose along rivers in the alluvial plain. The alluvial plain is created by the deposits of sedimentation that come down the mountain with the melting snow. And then they kind of just keep building up and creating soil that then is a great place for early agriculture. So one of the key aspects to Mesopotamia is it's a region. It's not really a specific culture. There are many different cultures in Mesopotamia. Think of them as city-states that arose up and down both of these rivers. And this diversity of cultures leads to innovations and new ideas. And you can Google all you'd like and find out a whole long list of the innovations that come out of this era. But we have early writing systems, the wheel, private property, beer, dentistry, maybe not one of our favorites, math, mercantilism, and warfare, to name just a few. So why is Mesopotamia important? There are, as you saw in our last module on Neolithic cultures, there were some regions in the world where the early civilizations arose. They were all great river valleys. But Mesopotamia is what becomes the foundations of Western culture. So when we later in the semester, we'll learn about some of these other places that also led to great civilizations, but they're not part of what we commonly call Western culture necessarily. Although, as we know about geography, war, and trade, cultures are continually sharing ideas with each other. So what new ideas arise in one area, then are shared with other areas. So Mesopotamia, as we saw earlier, created a lot of technological inventions that we still use today. I mean, after all, where would we be without the wheel? It's also an early example of multiculturalism, where you have people who have maybe different belief systems, different backgrounds, all living in this great river valley and exchanging ideas. And it's also one of the great examples of how these river valleys supported early civilizations and development. Whether you consider that good or bad, I'll leave that to you. But um, we trace our roots back to Mesopotamia here in the West. Regardless of whether our individual roots are in another part of the world, this is a Western culture in which we live today. And I think we would all agree we have a lot of examples of multiculturalism right here in San Diego with all the people from all over the world living here. And then I just wanted to leave you with this image, the ziggurat of Ur. This is about 5,000 years old, give or take. This image shows it partially restored, but this is a type of pyramid. And we're going to be studying different types of pyramids. And I want you, as we go through this course, to understand how this pyramid was used. And then when we get to ancient Egypt and Mesoamerica, we'll see different types of uses of pyramids and they all look a little different, but they're still pyramids, still something ancient people created all around the world. Currently, we have no evidence that the Mesopotamians and the Mayans were in contact, nor that the Mayans and the Egyptians were in contact. But we don't know what we don't know yet. So who knows what will be discovered in a few years. And that is, as I say, your introduction to Mesopotamia. Enjoy the rest of the module.